You forgave them. You opened your heart after the hurt. You chose love over anger. And somehow that forgiveness became the very weapon they used against you. You are not imagining this. There is a pattern you have been living inside without knowing its name, a cycle where your mercy transforms into their permission, where your compassion becomes their green light. This is not about your kindness being wrong. This is about understanding how certain minds operate in the shadows of your goodness. Because while you were forgiving, they were calculating. While you were healing the bridge, they were already planning the next crossing. You thought forgiveness would close a chapter. They saw it as opening a door. Every time you chose to forgive, you believed you were choosing peace. But what happened next? The same behavior, the same pattern, the same wound, just with a different timing. You started questioning yourself. Maybe you are too sensitive. Maybe you remember it wrong. Maybe it was not that bad. But your body knows the truth your mind keeps dismissing. That tightness in your chest when their name appears on your phone. That heaviness when you prepare to see them again. That exhaustion that has no physical cause. By the end of this video, you will see the invisible mechanism that has been draining your life force. You will understand why your forgiveness never brought the peace you expected. And you will learn how to protect yourself without them ever knowing you have changed the rules. This is not about revenge. This is about recognition. Let me show you what they have been doing. This pattern has a name. Forgiveness exploitation. It happens when someone learns that you forgive easily, and they begin to use that trait as a renewable resource. They hurt you. They apologize. You forgive. They hurt you again. The cycle repeats, but each time the boundary gets thinner. Here is what most people miss. A narcissist does not see forgiveness the way you do. To you, forgiveness is sacred. It costs you something emotionally. It requires you to let go of pain and choose trust again. To them, your forgiveness is data. It tells them how much they can take. It shows them where your limits are. Or more accurately, it shows them you have no limits they need to respect. Every time you forgive without consequence, you teach them that actions do not matter. Only words do. They learn they can reset your emotions with the right phrase, with the right tone, with just enough vulnerability in their voice. And once they learn this, they stop fearing loss, because they know you will always let them back in. You become a safe place for them to be their worst self, and they will drain that well until you have nothing left. Let me show you what this looks like. She sits across from him at the kitchen table. The same table where he promised 3 months ago that things would change. He forgot her birthday again. Not forgot exactly. He remembered the day after, sent flowers with a card that said, "Sorry." She wants to be angry, but his eyes look so sincere. He talks about work stress, about how much he has on his mind. He reaches for her hand. She lets him take it. Even though something inside her feels cold, he says he will make it up to her. She hears herself say, "It is okay." The words come out automatically now, like a reflex she cannot control. That night, she lies awake while he sleeps. She remembers the missed anniversary, the cancelled plans, the promise he made after he yelled at her in front of his friends. Each time she forgave. Each time she believed it would be different. But the space between the hurt and the apology keeps getting shorter, and the apologies themselves feel lighter, less effort, less guilt. She realizes something that makes her stomach turn. He is comfortable now, comfortable hurting her, because he knows the cost of hurting her is just a few words and a day or two of being nice. She does not recognize herself anymore. The woman who used to have standards, who used to walk away from disrespect. Now she negotiates with crumbs and calls it love. And the worst part, she cannot remember when she agreed to this. Here is the first mechanism at work, the reset button. Imagine a video game where you can die as many times as you want. No consequences, no loss of progress. Just press reset and start again. That is how a narcissist experiences your forgiveness. Every time you forgive, you reset the relationship to zero. All the damage they caused gets erased from the record. At least, that is how they see it. But here is what they do not tell you. While your emotional scoreboard resets to zero, theirs does not. They keep score. They remember exactly how far they can push. They note which apologies work best, which words make you soften fastest, how long they need to wait before doing it again. You think you are both starting fresh, but they are collecting data on your tolerance levels. Each forgiveness is a test passed, a boundary crossed without real penalty, and the next time they push just a little further, because they learned something crucial about you. You value peace more than you value protection. You would rather forgive than enforce a consequence. And once they know this, they have something more valuable than your love. They have your predictability. The second mechanism is called empathy inversion. Think of a battery. You have a full charge of empathy, compassion, and understanding. They have learned to plug into that source. Every time they hurt you and you forgive, they drain your battery to recharge theirs. But here is the inversion. The more empathy you give them, the less they develop their own. Your forgiveness does not teach them to be better. It teaches them they do not have to be. Someone else will always do the emotional labor. Someone else will always understand. Someone else will always make excuses for their behavior. That someone is you. You become their emotional infrastructure, the safety net that catches them every time they fall. And people do not grow when there is always a net. They just jump more recklessly. Here is what makes this dangerous. You think you are modeling good behavior, showing them what grace looks like, teaching them how love operates. But they are not learning love. They are learning leverage, how to use your virtues against you, how to turn your light into their cover. And the darker they become, the brighter you try to shine, hoping somehow your goodness will finally reach them. It will not, because they are not looking for light. They are looking for supply. You need to hear this. You are not broken for having forgiven. You are not weak for wanting to believe in change. Your ability to forgive is beautiful. It is part of what makes you human. But forgiveness was never meant to be given without discernment. It was never supposed to be automatic. Real forgiveness requires something from both sides. Genuine remorse from them, changed behavior as evidence, time to prove the words match the actions. What you have been giving is not really forgiveness. It is self-abandonment dressed in spiritual language. You have been forgiving people who never stopped hurting you, who never took accountability, who never changed a single thing except their apology script. And somewhere deep inside, you know this. You feel it in the exhaustion that never lifts, in the anxiety that lives in your chest, in the way you shrink yourself to avoid triggering them again. This is your body trying to tell you what your mind keeps denying, that you are not safe, that this pattern is killing something inside you, that forgiveness without boundaries is just permission with better branding. You have been waiting for them to care, to see you, to finally value what they keep breaking. But the wake-up call is not for them, it is for you. Here is what you do now. You do not announce anything, no big confrontation. No speech about boundaries. Narcissists do not respond to boundaries, they respond to consequences. So you create consequences silently. First, stop explaining yourself. When they push, you do not justify, you do not defend. You simply become unavailable, physically, emotionally, energetically. Second, extend the gap. They hurt you, they apologize. You used to forgive immediately. Now, you wait. Days, weeks. Let them sit in the discomfort of not knowing where they stand. Do not tell them you are doing this, just do it. Third, stop matching their energy. They create drama. You stay calm. They demand reaction. You give them nothing to work with. Become boring to them. Narcissists need emotional supply. When you stop providing it, they will look elsewhere. Fourth, Build your exit in silence. Strengthen other relationships. Secure your finances. Create space they cannot access. This is not about revenge. This is about reclaiming your life one quiet decision at a time, because the loudest liberation is the one they never see coming, the one where you simply stop being available for the same cycle. You do not owe them a warning. You owe yourself freedom. They will not change because you are forgiving. They will change when your forgiveness is no longer guaranteed. Your mercy was never the problem. Their exploitation of it was. You are not leaving because you are giving up on love. You are leaving because you finally remembered what love is supposed to feel like. And it does not feel like this. Subscribe to the channel and do not stop at this video. They are still using tricks you have not noticed. The next video will show you how they do it, and once you see it, you will never see people the same way again.